Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome again to Spinistry Live. We're going to go over some stuff coming up this week, and specifically hitting on Small Business Saturday and going into Cyber Monday, and some deals we have on the Spinistry Team Spinistry side of things in conjunction with that. If you know us already, if you're fans of ours, it's probably going to be a good deal for you. If you're just getting familiar with us, maybe you'll need to get a few more pieces of information before you're able to pull the trigger on Team Spinistry. That's completely understandable. We are getting all those pieces together. We expect them to be in place by December 1st at the latest, and we should be accepting all of our applications for Team Spinistry starting at that time on the competitive side of things. Just want to touch base with one of our partners really quickly on the front end of this, because Starlight Custom Apparel is integral to the Team Spinistry side of things. They are our apparel providers. They're great folks to work with. They do fantastic stuff, and they if you're looking for your own custom gear and kits and things like that, somebody you should definitely reach out to. Give Stratton a call, send them an email, tell them Spinistry sent you. They have some fantastic stuff at great pricing, fastest turnarounds in the industry. We'll show you a couple pieces of ours that we're using, and this is definitely going to tie into the Team Spinistry stuff. This is our Instagram page really quickly. This is Aaron modeling our what we call white Rasta jersey. This is one of our standard designs. Keep that in mind for later in the program today. Also, here's Jess with what we call our midnight jersey. Keep that one in mind for later in the program. And this is a picture from Roadrunner Rally last weekend, and there's that midnight jersey worn by Lauren. So it is now a winning jersey as well. We think that bodes well for Team Spinistry going down the road. And we're going to go ahead and just kind of roll into that really quickly. This is just a snapshot of some Team Spinistry pieces that we are putting in place and have coming together going into 2019. I know a lot of y'all are curious and wanting all your questions answered. We're getting closer and closer day by day. Pieces are coming together. And we're actually going to have some opportunities for in-person meetings, Q&As, and maybe some web meetings as well for folks that aren't able to make it to the different sites that we are hosting the meetings. We'll touch on a meeting or two here momentarily, but what I wanted to go over is give you what our rough snapshot is for what competitive Team Spinistry, how it works, what it looks like, how the pieces are starting to come together. And it is actually available now. If you are already a standard Team Spinistry member, if you're wanting to be part of the competitive team and utilize the benefits that come to that, you are able to go ahead and sign up for competitive Team Spinistry. We'll touch on how that breaks down here in just a moment. And we are having a Small Business Saturday through Cyber Monday special on competitive Team Spinistry. But let me show you a couple of other things. For those of you that aren't familiar with Team Spinistry and how it works, this is our team page here. It works through the same registration company, bikesignup.com, as most of our events do, almost all of our events. And the beauty of this is when you join Team Spinistry, it seamlessly recognizes when you register for our regular events that you are a team member, and you qualify. If you're a team member, you qualify for discounts on, we're going to say almost all, just in case something funny comes up. But at this point, 100% of the Spinistry events, if you're a Team Spinistry member, you will get a discount. That has traditionally been a 20% discount most of the time. Occasionally, we'll do a 50% discount. Right now, it looks like going into 2019, regular Team Spinistry and Team Spinistry competitive members both looks like we're going to be doing a 25% discount for those members when they sign up for Spinistry events. So that's one of the first benefits. Other benefits associated with Team Spinistry, not just the competitive Team Spinistry, but also the standard Team Spinistry. And we'll go over a little bit of a breakdown on what those differences are here momentarily. We have some fantastic partners that we work with, and more are coming on board on a regular basis. Some of our current partners are Chumba Cycles, Panaracer Tires, Cantu Cycling Wheels, Redshift Sports, the guys that do the shock stop stems, Quero Gloves, Wanderlust Gear, bike packing bags, Bike Life Training Coaching Services, as well as, and I see this now, I need to add them on here. I know they are further in the system, Roca Eyewear and Roca Sunglasses. So those are some of our Team Spinistry partners. We also have a default arrangement with Mad Duck Cyclery. They take care of Team Spinistry members at all time. Tommy's High Tech Auto in Denton, if you're needing auto repairs and service and things like that, those guys are fantastic to us and keep the Spinistry mobiles rolling. And some others that are coming into the mix. We have some other things. Keep an eye out for. I think it's going to be pretty exciting coming soon. So our current membership level that we've had for a few years now is what we call our annual active membership. We call it Team Spinistry, but it really wasn't oriented specifically towards a competitive team. Team Spinistry was just more of a nomenclature of, hey, we're a community, we're friends, we hang out together, we do things together, we're a team that way. And that is definitely the core of Team Spinistry still. That is not going away. So if you don't consider yourself a competitive person, if you're not out there racing, that's perfectly fine. I'm in that boat myself. I'm not a racer. I want to go out and hang out with friends and have a good time on the dirt roads and pedaling for hours and days and things like that. Team Spinistry is still a good fit for everybody. So Team Spinistry, $75 a year. You qualify for those discounts on Spinistry events. You get the discounts from our partners. We have exclusive club and social rides that are actually free events. Do several of those throughout the year, and your Team Spinistry membership qualifies you for those free rides, free events. Ride with GPS, free premium services for the navigation app and PDF maps. All those premium services. If you're a Team Spinistry member, you get that free of charge instead of having to, I want to say it's $6 a month or something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head. Something new that we're going to be adding going into 2019 with Coach Lauren Stevens. We're going to be introducing a basic fitness and coaching program, not built for racing per se. Now, for some folks, it may evolve into that, but this is even for beginner riders that are kind of just starting from scratch and just starting to ramp up to some endurance cycling. Basically, we're gonna break things down and give people a training program that, think of it as a couch to 100K program, where realistically in probably less than 45 or 60 days, even if you haven't been riding for a while for various reasons, I'm one of those. Injuries this year, injuries last year. I've been off the bike for a considerable amount of time, just now starting to go on it. And actually, Lauren's going to put me on this program so that I can get back in shape. And so the idea is within a fairly short period of time, being capable to do a 100K gravel event. And if you have loftier goals than that, or if you're already capable of doing 50 miles to 100K, but you want to take things to that next level, there'll be a second phase in there as well. And that's included for all Team Spinistry members. This is not just for the competitive teams. So that's one of the benefits that's out there right now. Discounts on most Spinistry events. And for the RAT 1000, 50% discount on the RAT 1000 mini rats and 100% discount for team members that do the tiny rat. So that's the basic team membership there. There's other perks and benefits along the way as well, but that's just kind of the snapshot. Again, we're buttoning all this up, getting ready for 2019. But that's going to stay at $75 a year, no price increase for that, and more benefits than in previous years as well. So if you're not competitive, if you're not looking to train up to race, to win races and things like that, this is a perfectly good fit for you. And this is the same program we've had in years. Now, what we just rolled out to expand this, and we're not doing this to grow Team Spinistry. We are doing this realistically to grow the sport and support our Team Spinistry members. This has always been an individual membership. So if there were 2 members of a family in a household that each wanted to be Team Spinistry members, they had to have their own memberships individually to get the discounts and things like that. Going into 2019, we are actually adding a family membership alternative, all those same benefits, but in the same household. And please don't abuse this, folks. Please, this is meant to be a true family membership in your same household, your significant other, dependent children living at home. And I still even consider, because I have a couple myself, if you have children in college but not living at home, those are still dependent children in your household. I know that one very well myself. But please, not your brother-in-law in Wisconsin or anything like that, that maybe you see for a cold beer and a cigar every 3 or 4 years. Help us maintain the integrity of this program so we can support our families. We want people to be able to get their significant others involved with them, riding side by side. We do believe that maybe some of our shorter distance Spinistry events with a discount going into those might get a few more people involved. So we have added a $100 membership, and this $100 membership for the family, that is a Cyber Saturday through, Small Business Saturday through Cyber Monday special. That will be going up to $110 Monday at midnight. But we do have a family membership for up to 4 members in a family. Get all of those benefits with all of our partners in Spinistry, and that's $100 for a year for a family of 4. We think that's a pretty good deal. So please do take advantage of that. If you're wondering where you sign up for Team Spinistry, if you go to our Facebook page, at the top of the page there's a button that says sign up. That actually takes you directly to Team Spinistry, the registration page. Also, after I'm done with the live cast, I'll insert a link in the comments on this video as well. And then drum roll, please. So now we're going to start. Again, this is still in development. We're still kind of rough drafting this. If we don't have enough details for you yet, I understand. This is really aimed at people that have already been Team Spinistry members up to this point. They're comfortable with us. They know we're gonna carry through with what we're talking about, but we just don't have all the details nailed down yet. But here's the rough draft of what competitive Team Spinistry is meant to look like. So you still need to have your individual Team Spinistry membership, annual membership, the $75 a year program or the $100 a year family program. But then if you lean towards the competitive side of things and you're wanting the competitive team support services that we'll be offering through 2019, not just for Spinistry events, but for other travel events as well. And we'll go into a little bit of detail on that momentarily. Bear with me a moment here. Throat's getting a little dry. If you're interested in a more competitive aspect and a more competitive training regimen and things like that, that's what our competitive team is aimed at the moment. And what we're going to do actually is we're going to break this down into quarters of the year. So basically January 1st through March 31st, and then April 1st through end of June, however the quarters break down. I don't have a calendar in front of me. And you're welcome to go in and out on the quarters as your competitive schedule allows, if you choose. If you want to go year round and get the training and the support and the programs all year long, you're definitely welcome to do that. We recognize that some folks aren't racing year round. They're concentrating on a few key events, whether there are events or from other promoters as well. And so we're gonna give you some of those training, that training support that helps with that. and also at some of the key events, some additional support. And we'll go over some of the concepts that we're talking about there. Again, haven't nailed all of those details down yet. That's going to take some meetings with the coaching and management team and make sure everybody's on the same page there. And I'm really looking for their thoughts and their input, because I've never been on a world-class international racing team myself. I'm going to defer to the experts along those lines. But right now, the intent is for that to be $75 for a quarter to get the competitive team Spinistry training services and supported events and things like that. But what that includes actually is each quarter will have the recommended team kit component, be it a jersey, be it shorts, bibs, knickers, arm warmers, jacket, whatever. We don't exactly know what that's going to look like. Obviously, it's probably going to go something along the line of jerseys, shorts, and maybe warmers or something like that, just so people can have the team kit. And that's included with your quarterly charge. Now, the quarterly charge is normally going to be $75. We are having our Small Business Saturday through Cyber Monday that knocks $10 off of that. So $65. And remember when I was showing you our current kits, our current jerseys for the Midnight and the Rasta, we have other styles as well, but these are our primary, what we plan to be competitive colors. Well, for Team Spinistry Q1, what we're going to be doing is the long sleeve versions of each of those. So here's the mock-ups, and bear with me, my computer seems to have froze. It's not letting me page. Well, there was, there we go. And there's the Rasta version in long sleeve. Those are mock-ups. What we'll be doing is obviously you're welcome to join the competitive team now. And it's going to ask you what your general preference is and what your general sizing is, but those are not obligations at this point. That's just for us to start getting a feel of numbers and size mixes and things like that. The plan will be mid-December for all of the Q1 Team Spinistry competitive members that have signed up by mid-December. That's when we'll place the order for these long sleeve jerseys. And we do expect to be able to order both. You don't have to buy both. Your quarterly membership will include one or the other, your choice. And we'll place the orders around December 15th with the intention of them being available for the Texas Chainring Massacre, which is what really kicks off the 2019 season, not just for us, but for everyone in the gravel world. It's our biggest event of the year. We typically have 500 plus attendees. So we want to have a big showing from the competitive Team Spinistry folks at what is truly our biggest race of the year, Texas Chainring Massacre. And again, here's what the real version of the jerseys look like in the short sleeve version. And we'll be having some in-person meetings. And at those in-person meetings, you can try on the jerseys to verify sizes and things like that. Look at the colors and the patterns in person, and nail down exactly which long sleeve jersey that you want. Now, another option is, and we haven't gone into the training benefits and support benefits, but obviously the jersey is intended for people that want to label themselves, declare themselves as Team Spinistry when they're racing, and we really appreciate that. We want folks to talk us up like that. But we're also going to offer all of the other benefits of the team for people that are on other teams and still need to say they are on Team XYZ, but they are still part of our Team Spinistry family for showing up for the events and things like that. And they want to take advantage of some of Lauren's tips for the coaching and the team management and things like that. We are going to offer that option, but instead of the jersey, if you don't want to fly Team Spinistry colors or put Team Spinistry on your registration when you register for an event, what we'll actually do is we'll comp you a team Spinistry a Spinistry event for that quarter instead of a jersey. So what's $65 right now will be $75 starting Tuesday. You'll get the competitive support services, coaching services, training, other things that are coming along those lines. And then you will get your choice of either of those long sleeve jerseys for quarter one, or if you don't want the jersey, or if you already have jerseys from us and you don't need a long sleeve jersey, then you can defer, and instead of getting a jersey with your quarterly team dues, you'll get a free Spinistry event. So I hope you guys recognize that this isn't a money grab. We're not doing team Spinistry to go out there and make more money. Because if your $75 gets you coaching, training, support, and a jersey or a free event, I don't see how we make a lot of money in that. And so that's not what the goal is. The goal is to support our community, and we know there's people that are wanting to be more focused on the competitive side of things. And for the folks that have those competitive tendencies and some other pieces that we'll be rolling out in 2019, this is the way we're seeing to support that going forward. Again, very broad stroke, very general. Those are some of the things we're looking at along those lines. So what do I mean by support for our competitive team members? That's a darn good question. This is a very, very extremely rough draft at the moment of a calendar of events that we are hoping to be able to offer different types of support throughout the year. Some of the events, it might just be a training program specifically aimed at getting racers tuned up and peaking at the right time for a specific event. It could be that. It could be a travel event that's a big deal that we have basically a Spinistry headquarters on site where everybody can gather and meet up before the event, after the event, strategize beforehand, possibly with some accommodations, bunk beds or things like that. Events where it's feasible and allowed, we'll have team Spinistry support on course for team members and things like that. So those are some of the rough concepts that we're working on. It's going to take a little while to flesh it out. Excuse me, kind of stumbled over my own tongue there. The reality is the goal is to have everything fleshed out by 2020 to really be firing on all cylinders on the competitive team side of things. But that doesn't mean that we're not going in full force for 2019. We just know that there's going to be some learnings involved in 2019. So what maybe some original concepts and ideas may end up getting tweaked or diverted along the way, or we find new things that should be cared for more. So it's not going to be a definitive structure on the front end. By the end of 2019, we think we'll have pieces solidly in place to really roll into 2020. But right now, here's kind of our really rough draft of events that we're targeting in different capacities throughout the year. 1-5 out of Shelby, Texas. This is the same place where we did Dog Days 100 last August. Fantastic venue, fantastic routes. Should be perfect in January for rolling. We don't expect that to be an uber competitive event. We realize early in January, lots of folks, they're still resting up from the previous year and just starting to build their base back up. So that's a good one to put in a 100-miler day and help with your base training there, or just to get out and have a good time. With the idea of January 26th, that is going to be a true focus event, obviously, Texas Chainring Massacre. So we will have a training program in place for some of the more competitive folks that are already on a training program to help them focus and plan to peak for Texas Chainring Massacre. That's going to be a big deal. Obviously, we're kind of short on time for all those pieces to come together. But if you're looking for if you're looking for a team, looking for some team support, this is a good time to get started up on that. February 16th, that'll be our first excursion into Central Texas for our Hill Country Hundy. That was a really successful event for us last year out of Llano, Texas. Beautiful roads, beautiful routes. So we expect that one to be a good kickoff for our Central Texas team members there. Right now, to be determined for March 2nd, it's possible Gravelthon might still be in the mix for that weekend, but that's something that's in play at the moment. Not anything I have direct control over. We're going to see how those pieces come into play. Land Run 100, March 16th. We already have Spinistry HQ reserved in Stillwater. The plan is to be up there running support for all competitive team members. Possibly, obviously if you have a Land Run entry, you're welcome to come on board as a Team Spinistry member with your existing Land Run entry. We'll have at least one team entry that we'll be able to pass along to somebody. This would have reimbursed. This wouldn't be a giveaway, but it would just be at normal pricing. We'll have at least one entry, possibly two, and possibly if there's ways to make arrangements with the waiting list, or maybe I'll go up there and have a beer with Bobby or something like that. Maybe we can find a way to secure another couple of Land Run entries one way or another. But Spinistry HQ will be on site in Stillwater that weekend, and we will have a support vehicle for the supported stops, and probably day before pre-ride, things like that. So Land Run will be one of our definitely supported travel events. That's obviously not a Spinistry event. March 30th, TBD. That's kind of dependent on the 3-2 TBD. We're going to do one in North Texas, the other in Central Texas. We're kind of waiting to see how the Gravelthon pieces come together before we sort that one out specifically. But that is something we do need to get sorted out in the next couple weeks. April 13th, Castell Grind. That's another one that we do currently have reservations for Spinistry HQ to support the Castell Grind as well. Red River Riot, another big event, Spinistry side. So that is a focus event for the team. There will be all sorts of support going into that one. Something I want to bring up, going back to Texas Chain Ring Massacre, obviously it'll apply there as well. Red River Riot. One of the benefits for Team Spinistry competitive members will be the intent each weekend, each event of ours, the weekend prior, we'll have a dedicated team ride to scout the planned routes. That'll help us in a couple of ways. Obviously, it'll help the team to get familiar with the route, but that will also be a way for us to scout the route the week before the event. I know a lot of y'all wonder why we wait so long to post routes and things like that. Well, here's the deal. When we're doing these gravel road events, they're extremely weather sensitive. If there's a big weather event that comes in, anytime between the time we announce the event to when it actually goes off, if we put out our planned route now and a big flooding event comes through and wipes out 3 or 4 bridges or closes roads or whatever else, that can completely trash the whole route just because we're not able to get from one section to the next as we intended. So we typically wait until the last week or so before the event, with fingers crossed if there's no major weather forecast that last week, before we start truly nailing down the details, because we have to keep an eye on the weather the whole time and the road conditions the whole time leading up to the event. And we've learned in the past that even if we put out a preliminary tentative route and we make it crystal clear to everybody, hey, this is just what we're thinking now, it's not likely to end up being this. If we put that route out, that's what more than half the people will have downloaded on their GPS going into the event, even though we've sent multiple emails, given multiple notifications. Don't use that original route. So typically what we do is we hold off until the route is verified and confirmed just in the last couple of days prior to the event before we release it. We've found that creates a lot less confusion overall. So that was a little bunny trail I went down, but that is another benefit of being on the competitive team. You will get to pre-ride the route, and it'll help us out because we'll be able to actually physically scout the route. So if the pre-ride comes across something unexpected, we'll know a week in advance and we can nail it down probably by Monday or Tuesday at that point. And that way we can actually benefit everybody that's going to Team Spinistry events by having routes available Monday or Tuesday instead of Thursday or Friday. So that's Red River Riot. Currently, plan is to support the Epic 150 in Missouri as well. Dirty Fury Stage Race, Spinistry event. Right now, we have Gravel Ride for Maisie's Pride in Kansas as a potential travel event. I want to get some more details on that one. Tornado Rally in Oklahoma does not look like it's going to happen, unfortunately. Fortunately, my daughter is graduating from the University of Texas that weekend, and the University of Texas has decided to hold graduation next spring on Memorial Day weekend. That was not expected, so it looks like we'll be taking that off the calendar. June 1st, we'll go into more detail on this. It's Can't Do Kanza Day and Dirty Kanza Day. We are encouraging everyone to get into the Dirty Kanza if they can. That's what we will be supporting our team members that make it into the Dirty Kanza, and that will be the primary focus for anybody that makes it there. But we recognize that there's going to be more people wanting to ride that weekend than to make it into the Dirty Kanza. So we'll see how it works out. If we get a bunch of Team Spinistry members that make it up to Emporia, hey, we'll give 100% support up that way. If we have very few, obviously we'll shift our focus to Can't Do Kanza. If it's 50-50, we'll have to get creative and figure it all out. But everybody needs to plan to do something that weekend. June 1st weekend, you're going to be riding a bike for 200 miles one way or another. And competitive Team Spinistry members will be getting support one way or another, or multiple ways. Tentatively right now, June 22nd, we're coming back to San Saba for the Regency Bridge Rumble. It was damned hot this year when we did the Regency Bridge Rumble. We are highly considering making that a nighttime event for the summer and doing our daytime event in the winter, which is, by the way, coming up in a couple weeks. Talk about that shortly. Current rough draft is for Regency Bridge Rumble in San Saba to be a night event. Same with our Summer Dog Days 100 event. We're looking to make that a night event and also a big time overnight party. We'll talk more about that as we get closer to that one. 7/21, this is a Sunday. This is in conjunction with Tour de Paris weekend in Paris, Texas, Lamar County. Hell of the North Texas is going to be a big deal this year. Lamar County loves you guys. They were absolutely amazed by the turnout. They're pledging all sorts of support. Anybody that made it to Hell of the North Texas in Paris this year, you just got a very slight taste of what this one's going to be like this year. Put this on your calendars. You want to make Hell of the North Texas in Paris. Tentatively, Midnight Massacre, August 3rd. We have another planned tentative support Gravel Worlds in Nebraska on August 17th. We do have a Spinistry event penciled in Colorado the following weekend, but actually with team training for the week prior. So it might be one of those things where we go to Gravel Worlds and from there go to Buena Vista, Colorado the next day and start Team Spinistry summer training camp. Obviously, we'll address that down the road. Then we're looking at supporting our team at the Hondo in Kansas. Lockhart Breaker will be a big event this year. Lockhart Breaker that's gone so well both years that we've run it. We will be taking it next level on the competitive side of things. We actually expect that one to possibly rival the Texas Chainring Massacre, depending on how the pieces come together on that. So Lockhart Breaker will be a big deal this year. Ranchero 100. That's just outside of Bryan College Station, a little north of there. We just did an informal ride, team Spinistry training ride out of there this past fall. Basically when the flooding was going on, and these roads held up to the weather really, really well. It's a neat area to ride in. So that's going to be a new event for us, for everyone, not just Team Spinistry. But stay tuned for the details on that. RAT 1000 dates are nailed down for that. We have, again, Paris and Lamar County have bent over backwards for us already. So we have the fairgrounds locked down. Pieces are coming together for RAT 1000. We'll have some specific live cast Spinistry lives on that. Tentatively right now, we're flip-flopping. Hopefully, if schedules work out, Roadrunner Rocks back to earlier in November, and then we'll roll the Prickly Pear Pedal, which was our pilot point event. Look to roll that towards Thanksgiving weekend this time for 2019. And we do want to do our, again, return to Regency Bridge in early December, and our Holiday Ramble year-end wrap-up will be the end of December. So this is a rough draft of how the events that will be encouraging and supporting the team, the competitive team members in various forms. You don't have to make all of these events. We're not trying to say that at all. We realize most people can't make all of these travel events. We're just letting you know that if you're interested in participating in some of these events, there's a good chance we'll have your back, and there will be some other Team Spinistry members there to race alongside with. So that's that in a nutshell. Tentative schedule for next year, and it doesn't mean that there might not be other things thrown in there. Particularly if some of the promoters want to reach out to us and invite us. And this is something I want to make clear to the promoters. Let me go back there. Here we go. For those of you that aren't real familiar with Spinistry and how we do things, we do it different. So when I say we're looking for support from promoters, I'm a race promoter. I'm not looking for race promoters to give us comped entries. We want to pay full price. I'm not looking for discounted entries. We want to pay full price. That said, if you recognize the benefit of our presence there, and maybe you have an event that's already sold out or something like that, or likely to be sold out, but you can stretch that participant cap by 5 or 6 racers or something like that, we're happy to pay full charge, support the event, support the community, support whatever charities are involved. And if our presence there and our awareness there helps drive some more attention to your event, we're happy to help along those lines. So that's kind of that pitch out there to other promoters that might want us to help them out and be involved and work side by side. It is a community all the way around, not just the people that are in Team Spinistry. The cycling community is near and dear to our hearts. That's why we do this. Nobody's getting rich putting on bicycle events. I don't think. Maybe 1 or 2 people out there, but that's not what we're looking for, though. That's not what we're trying to do. And I'm rambling on so much longer than I planned to. What else did I have? Oh, yes. Okay. So Team Spinistry benefits start this Thursday. We're going to be doing some more of these, hopefully in other communities as well, but definitely Dallas, Thursday nights. Weekly levy rides, Thursday evenings, weather permitting. And if weather does not permit, we hope to have a plan B, and this is Thursday to Thursday to Thursday, hopefully all the way until daylight savings time at least, and maybe all the time. Don't know yet. So if weather is not permitting, we expect to have just a standard plan B in place if the levees are muddy or something like that. But starts Thursday evening, a meetup at the Continental Avenue pedestrian bridge. All levels of riders and racers that are Team Spinistry members are welcome. And for this first kickoff event, even if you're not a Team Spinistry event, everyone's welcome this Thursday. If you have questions about Team Spinistry, obviously we'll answer them, but it's not a membership drive or anything like that. So please come out and join us. Weekly training rides, all levels. The main group current plan is for them to roll at 5:30. Regroup at Continental Avenue Pedestrian Bridge at 6:30, catch a second group there. We also recognize some folks might get there early. Please do. Show up at 4 or 4:30, do a loop, come back to the west end of the bridge at 5:30, go out with the main group, and then if you have to leave by 6:30, you're welcome to, and then the next group can all meet up at 6:30. So that's the tentative plan Thursday night. I believe Lauren and Matt are going to be there. And we want to have a big crowd out there this week, get the ball rolling well. But you don't have to just be pro or Cat 1 level racers out there. And quite frankly, I plan to be riding, and this will be my first time back on the bike outdoors in several months. Hopefully, I think my concussion stuff has gotten to the point where I can start riding outdoors again. Definitely, since there's no cars or traffic or anything like that involved, I'm pretty confident about riding on the levees. So that's one opportunity. If you have questions that you want to ask in person about Team Spinistry, we can talk there this Thursday evening. But if you just want to come out and ride, please do. We'd love to see you out there. The next opportunity will be Wednesday night at Mad Duck in Grapevine. We're doing a smart trainer demo. Clarence is going to give an overview for folks that are curious about smart trainers, what they're about, how they work, and things like that. But we'll also be doing a Team Spinistry Q&A about the competitive team. We'll have jerseys out there, fit kits if you want to try on the different jersey sizes. Check out our colors in person, that sort of thing. Please come to Mad Duck Cyclery. All are welcome to this one. You don't have to be interested in Team Spinistry. If you're just curious about smart trainers, please do come out and check it out. I'll tell you up front, and I'm definitely speaking from the perspective of somebody that between being hit by a car and a nasty concussion, hit by a car last year, nasty concussion this year, having to be off the bike. I trained back up for the rat last year because of a smart trainer. Even though my knees were less than ideal, I was cleared to pedal a bike. I started on a smart trainer, and within a few months, even though I couldn't walk up and down trails or anything like that, I could ride a bike. The smart trainer was plenty to get me good for well over 500 miles of the rat. I am a huge believer in smart trainers. And just because it takes away that excuse to, I'm not going to ride today. And it allows so much more flexibility. You don't have the travel time to pack up the bike and go somewhere safe to ride, or if you're a mountain bike rider, go to the trail. If you've only got an hour to spare, just hop on the bike and go. The smart trainers are engaging enough so that it's not an absolute beating to ride them. I'm not going to call them fun. Sometimes they can be, but at least they're engaging, and it's not torture to ride them for an hour or an hour and a half. But you can also program the ideal training programs themselves. So that's my short pitch on it. I believe everybody that's serious about maintaining their cycling fitness should have a smart trainer in their home at this point, but I'm not selling smart trainers. If you have questions about them, please show up at Mad Duck. Clarence is going to answer questions. It's not going to be a big old sales spiel or anything like that. Just show you how it works, let you ask your questions, see some different options. And that's the idea for Wednesday night in Grapevine. But then we'll also do a Team Spinistry competitive Q&A if you didn't get enough information, or if what we did here caused more questions than answers. Going to wrap this up in the next couple minutes. Last pitch for what we have going through the end of the year. Return to Regency Bridge out of San Saba. That will be in 2 weeks. Beautiful ride out there. Regency Bridge is absolutely amazing. If you haven't pedaled out there yet, please come down and join us. Tent camping's included with your registration. We'll have food and drink. It's also that Saturday, the day of our event, is the Sava holiday parade and big holiday brouhaha. They were really excited about us being there over the summer, and they're bending over backwards and welcoming us with open arms as well. And it's I'm having to temper myself. I'm wanting to say pecan, but now I'm realizing I'm back in Texas. So it's pecan harvesting time in Texas as well. And San Saba is the pecan capital of the world. I believe that's their claim to fame right now. I don't know if it's still true or not, but that is their claim to fame. They are the pecan capital of the world. I'm sure they are. That area is the pecan capital of Texas, if nothing else at this point. So if you like pecans, you got to come to San Saba. December 22nd. This is our big end of year bash. Holiday Ramble, one of everyone's favorite routes when we hold this every year. Yes, we are pushing it back a month later than we usually have it. We're doing it going into Christmas instead of going into Thanksgiving like we typically have done in the past. But that's because we wanted to combine it with our end of year bash. What we're actually doing, anyone that's been to the Holiday Ramble before, we've always started at that big parking area at the fireworks stand. We're still starting there, but this year we actually we have the big sports bar there. So we're finishing at the Whiskey River Sports Bar, and we're gonna have a big shindig closing out the year party. We've got some great giveaways that we're giving away. Must be present to win. Chumba Cycles Terlingua frame must be present to win, but that's pretty dang sweet. Giving away a couple sets of Cantu carbon wheels. Must be present to win, but that's pretty sweet. Bunch of Spinistry gear, some other stuff that's coming. We'll be doing those announcements, and we will be crowning our Gravel King and Gravel Queen. You don't want to miss this one. So Holiday Ramble, December 22nd. It's going to be a big deal. It's going to be a gorgeous ride too. So you'll want to join us for that. And then finally, there we go. Shelby Winter Wonderland, about an hour, a little over an hour west of Houston, about an hour and change east of Austin, about an hour and a half from San Antonio. This is where we did the Dog Days 100 over the summer. We're doing a winter event January 5th. Beautiful roads, beautiful area, very, very cool staging venue. We'll have cold drinks, warm drinks, barbecue, fantastic routes, and Shelby Winter Wonderlands, January 5th. That's going to be a good one as well. Going to go ahead and button everything up. I will put a link to Team Spinistry registration in the comments section on the video, but it is also the sign up button on our page as well. If you have questions, please post them in the comments. As soon as I get notification of any questions or comments or concerns, I will answer them. Thanks for joining us for this version of Spinistry Live. We have a lot more coming your way. Hopefully going to be down in San Saba tomorrow verifying stuff for the Regency Bridge route. So keep an eye on the Instagram and Facebook and stuff like that. And we should have some cool pics and details coming up tomorrow and or Monday, depending on how the schedule works out. Everybody have a fantastic rest of your Thanksgiving weekend, and we'll be in touch again soon.